Hello, this is Resource of the Week with SolanoConnex, Mental Health, Service Access, and You. My name is Valentina Kelly.
And I'm Elena Starr. And this week, we are really excited to welcome our guest of the week. So today we have JP Contreras, who's the CalFresh Outreach Coordinator for the Food Bank of Contra, Costa, and Solano. Hi, JP. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing all right. How's everyone today?
Pretty good. Happy the sun is finally out.
Makes a change.
Yeah.
Exactly. Welcome change.
Well, thank you again so much for joining us today. I know your schedule is really busy. You do a lot of work. So we're really excited to have you and to talk about the food bank.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm like super excited to be here. I love SolanoConnex. What you guys do is great. And just to be able to share also what I do and the different ways that we can help our community is a great opportunity. I'm loving to be here.
Yes, awesome. Just to get started, I mean, we know you, right? But just so people, who are listening can get to know you a little bit, can you just talk about maybe yourself a little bit and the food bank?
Yeah, absolutely. So actually just yesterday, February 21st, I hit my 1 year mark as a hunger fighter. That's what we call
Woo!
our team here at the food bank. Thank you.
Congrats.
Um, thank you. So well, I'm a hunger fighter. So basically what we do is we're out there trying to help people find free food resources. The food bank, I wish I had known about the food bank when I first moved to this country and like when I was doing like college and all that, because it's amazing. We're like everywhere and there's so many different like resources available to everybody. And just knowing that they're out there would have made a big difference on me. So now being able to share all those resources is just a great opportunity that I love to be part of. The food bank has been here, I believe, about 48 years, something like that. And from like started as simple as like somebody going around grocery stores collecting food and trying to like distribute it at a parking lot to people that needed it. And now we're basically serve all Solano County, Contra Costa County, and 16 additional counties up in North State. So
Wow.
it's amazing the amount of people that we reach and the great job that we're doing out there.
Yeah. I think we've seen you guys at some of the outreach events we've attended, right? So you guys attend outreach events, you go into the community. Is that right?
Yes. So the food bank has different departments. One of them is programs. A couple of the programs that we have are community produce programs, are like mobile pantries, senior food programs. We have school lunches and like nutrition as well. And then additionally, my team specifically, we're CalFresh Outreach Coordinators. So we're the ones like kind of like in the front of the line representing the food bank. We have like bilingual staff, Spanish, English, Mandarin. We're recently trying to get some translators to kind of like break that language barrier, to reach as many people as we can. But yes, we're out there in like resource fairs. We are out there outside of grocery stores. I'm out there in the Walmart neighborhood market in Vallejo, like almost every week. So something as simple as like I remember one client told me, was like, "You tell me I can get groceries and sign up for food stamps right here." I was like, "That's convenience," and I was like, "That's what we're doing. We're just trying to make it as easy as possible for people to sign up to get free food."
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, I'll have to admit, I didn't really know what the food bank did. To be honest, like I've heard the term throughout my life, and I didn't really understand what they meant. I think I didn't really realize how much of a community resource it is for a lot of people. And I know you mentioned there's different departments and everything, but would you be able to expand maybe on just break it down a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So the food bank has like their own like development team, which are like the ones that are able to like help us reach as many people on social media, because like right now everything's on social media, TikTok, Instagram. That's how we reach a lot of people. Also a lot of donations because we're not able to keep going doing what we're doing if it's not for the community itself. We serve the community, but we are able to serve the community because of the community. So things like volunteers are like greatly needed. They make out the force of the food bank because the food bank only has, I believe, it's around 168 employees total
Oh, wow.
between the two locations. So we're not able to fill out every need that we have, like bagging the produce, distributing it out in every single program that we have. So reaching our communities and having the community help us serve the community is vital. Like we're not able to do all that work first without them. And then donations as well, like those they keep us going, you know. Having the community donate, like I said, the time is one of the most valuable things, but also like monetary donations, they help us buy like food, because like the way that we buy is kind of like in bulk.
Mm.
So like for $1, we're able to provide at least 2 meals. So that's just, it goes a long way. Sometimes people say like, oh, I don't have a lot of money. I find myself in that situation. I'm like, oh, I really can't donate right now because I got to donate to my own cost. You know, like I got to eat something. But like something is $1 will provide like 2 meals at least for our community neighbors. And CalFresh, on top of that, for every 1 meal that the food bank provides, CalFresh is able to provide 9 meals. So like
Wow.
it gives the people the option to choose. They have their own car. They can go to the grocery store. They can pick what they want, and they can use it as they want. Because like we're also trying to be more culturally aware of like the neighbors that we're serving. We don't want to be given just one specific item across the like line and just expect that everybody would be able to utilize it, or like everyone's gonna have a kitchen to cook all those things. So on top of like all the work that we do, partner agencies help us a lot. They get some food from us. They get food somewhere else. They get buy their own food. They're able to like distribute it. Some of them are able to like cook, do like prepare meals, sandwiches, just to make it as easy as possible for folks to access free food, because it's just a human right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm just curious as you're talking about this more, like what kinds of foods? I mean, I'm sure it's like a huge variety, but I don't know, like just, if people are kind of curious or like, I don't know how you would break that down.
No, yeah, absolutely. So it depends on our programs. So community produce programs, repetitive, but it's mostly produce. So you can expect things like seasonal, sometimes onions, sometimes potatoes, sometimes broccoli, sometimes um, bok choy, I believe it's called.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty dynamic. So that's our community's first produce programs. There's mobile pantries, which they have our produce as well as some protein, like dairy, meat, eggs, stuff like that. There's also our partner agencies that are able to do also like peanut butter, bread, chips. There's soup kitchens that are partnered with us, so they're able to serve some like soups, hot, like ready to eat meals as well. Um, yeah, so we have like a lot of different options, like a lot of different options, and they're happening like almost every day. So you can be sure, like if there's not something happening in your city today, there's like in the neighboring city happening, and there's the partner agencies which work sometimes across the week, so they're always open. We include phone numbers in our website, addresses, and everything, so you can always call ahead or make sure whatever's more convenient for you.
And how, if someone was interested in applying for CalFresh, what is the process? Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I will just give him my number.
Great.
Absolutely.
That's the easiest application.
No, yeah. I mean, there's multiple ways. There's obviously the county offices, which I know a lot of us don't are not a fan of. They're always so busy. They're doing a great job. But our website, it's like the easiest way you can do a little calendar request. So you can request a meeting with one of us. Would be there's 8 of us in my team. All of us are bilingual. All of us speak English and Spanish, so we're able to help you over the phone. We're able to meet you where you are. Like we know that not everybody has access to internet or a phone or just they're not tech savvy, which is totally like okay. We meet people where they're at, so we can help them at our offices, both in Fairfield and Concord. We can do over the phone. We can meet them in person if they're lucky. Like they run into us in some of like outreach events. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to reach one of us, and we can do all the application process for them. We basically act kind of like a mediator. We just collect all the information, put it all together, submit the application, wait for the county to give them a call. Then once the county gives them a call, if they ask for any other extra verifications, they can just send them to us. We submit everything for them, just trying to make it as easy as possible. And because a lot of the times people say like, this is too complicated. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to
Yeah.
submit it. And that is just a barrier that we want to break down, because this benefits are an entitlement benefit. Like if you qualify for it, you should be receiving it. So
Yeah. So I just wanted to recap. I mean, because it can be really overwhelming. I think it's a lot of information. That's something we notice also with services outside of, in mental health. And the reason we're so excited that you get to talk today and we get to highlight you is because, we found like if people are concerned about their next meal, I mean, that's going to take priority over their mental health. It's all connected. And so we're really, really excited to share this resource. It sounds like if people were interested in applying for CalFresh or getting more information about eligibility, they could just directly reach out to you and the team that you work with, right? And that streamlines the process a little bit more.
yeah, correct. So
Okay.
our website, foodbankccs.org, it has all the information that you need. There is one tab for the CalFresh team specifically in there. I believe it's at the bottom of the website. At the very first, you're gonna find the free food. Majority of the time, that's what people are looking for when they're looking for food bank free food. So that would be the first thing that they'll see on our website. If they need help with CalFresh, we're towards the bottom. There's a little CalFresh link over there, and you can schedule a meeting. You can find our general line number. We're pretty good at getting the phone. Sometimes we're not. You can just leave a voicemail. Usually we try to get back within like 2 days. We try to stay on top of that because we know that people are reaching out. We're trying to get them help as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
This is very new to me, I have to admit. So this might sound like some interesting questions or some obvious questions. So it sounds like, I mean, kind of referring back to what you're talking about earlier and just tying everything back together. So we have CalFresh as one piece, and then the services that you do in the community are the mobile pantries, the soup kitchens, and seasonal produce. Are those separate from CalFresh, or do they intertwine at all? I
No,
don't know
yeah,
if that makes
absolutely.
sense.
So
Okay.
they're different programs. So
Okay.
that's something that we notice sometimes people don't qualify for CalFresh because it is a federal program. So there's a lot of like you were mentioning before, like with mental health. As a Latino, like I grew up with like my mom, like don't ask for help. Like sometimes there's like undocumented cases where we just don't want to share any personal information, which is completely understandable, you know. And then sometimes people don't qualify for a lot of different reasons. There might be over the income limit. They might be not documented. They might be not enough expenses or whatever the case may be. We can help them figure out if there's a workaround that or like if there's something we can do. But even in cases where people don't qualify, I always stress out how the work that the food bank does, because the everything from the food bank is accessible to anybody. There's no requirements. Our community produce programs is our truck goes to a specific place. Usually it's a parking lot. We try to centralize it wherever we go, so like it's equally accessible to our neighbors. So people just show up. At most, they'll be asked some sort of ID just to make sure that we're safe in the surrounding neighborhood. Maybe proof of address at most. But yeah, there's no requirement. There's no extra steps. Anybody could access this food, you know, anytime. And sometimes we get cases where people do qualify for CalFresh, but they're receiving the minimum, which is $23 at the moment, which we know it's not enough. It doesn't go a long way, especially with inflation and everything that we're seeing. So we always recommend like, hey, like this are places are accessible to you. Check them out. If you need to visit them, please, you're more than welcome to do so. They're here for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for clarifying that. I think I was confusing everything in my head as we're talking. But I mean, again, like these are just such amazing programs for people to be aware of. So, Valentina, did you remember your question?
Yes, I did. I wrote it down this time. I wanted to know, usually when people apply for CalFresh, how long is that turnover? Like how long before they hear back usually, if I don't know if there's a time frame.
No, yeah. So there is a time frame, usually between 2 weeks to a month. Specifically, my team, we're pretty good on like having like a lot of experience with the county, and we have agreements with the counties where we're able to just aid each other, you know, because sometimes there's like mix-ups or there's like something get lost in the mail Or I recently had a specific client who had his benefits cut down when he did a recertification, which is like you want to continue with your benefits, you just have to update your information. There was a typo, so their benefits were cut down. We're able to escalate those issues. Like once the client has been trying to reach the county, they have been unsuccessful. There's so many calls at the moment, so they can't always get to everybody. So if there's any issues, we're able to escalate. And because of that agreement, we're able to resolve issues really quickly. At the same time, when we put the application in for them, we tell them usually like you wait around like 2 weeks to a month. They should give you a call. That's the interview call. Sometimes they let them know if they've been approved, denied at the moment. Sometimes they don't say anything, which sometimes people are just wondering like, oh, I had an interview, I haven't heard anything, what's going on? We're able to check for them. We're able to let them know like, hey, your case still pending. Hey, like it seems like they might have asked for like extra verifications. Make sure to send them to me. Sometimes people get denied for like missing the interview because they didn't know somebody called them. So we can help them like, hey, like let's try to schedule a new interview. So yes, like everything, like I would say within a month at most, because we see pretty often that it doesn't take that long. The counties are doing a great job of like keeping up with these applications that we submit. So yeah, I'd say at most a month.
To follow up with that, I know you mentioned some eligibility requirements or maybe reasons why someone wouldn't be eligible. Are there age requirements as well?
No, 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 absolutely not. There's obviously there's limitations where like if somebody's pregnant, they wouldn't count it to household income until the kid is born.
Okay.
But no age requirements. Sometimes we see cases where like there might be like an immigrant's parents, right? Like they don't qualify for the benefits. They do have a citizen kid here, so they would apply all together, but the kid would be the one getting benefits. It doesn't affect the documentation on the parents at all. So sometimes it can be like a newborn baby, and that can help them like buy formula and stuff like that for the kid. There's also like seniors. A lot of the times, we see a lot that they think I own my house, so I don't qualify, or I have retirement benefits, I don't qualify, or listings. You're still paying for some type of like shelter costs, like you're paying for insurance. Your house may be paid off, but you're paying for insurance, you're paying for utilities, you're paying for all these things. So we can help them figure out what expenses are eligible to help them qualify. But there's no age requirements.
Okay, that's great to know. And you mentioned formula, and that's something that makes so much sense, but I don't think I naturally would have thought of formula. Are there any other items that maybe we wouldn't have thought of as being included that you'd want to highlight?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of different things that somebody can buy with an EBT card. Usually, stores are pretty good at letting you know what items are eligible for the EBT card. Places like Safeway, Sam's Club, they have like a good system where they tell you like, hey, this item is good to pay with your EBT. It's usually what we see food to prepare, not so much like prepared food.
Okay.
Nothing like hot, like a rotisserie chicken you wouldn't be able to buy that with an EBT card, but you would be able to buy like groceries, like things to prepare, some like meat to like cook later or
Okay.
something like that. There is some stores that are, because we know sometimes it's unhoused individuals that are experiencing like a really hard time. They don't have a kitchen. There's some places where they can grab like a sandwich ready to go type of deal. There's also a different program that that one you would have to have like an exemption kind of thing, but like for some seniors that are like might not be mobile, or they don't have like I said, like a person experienced homelessness, they would be able to like buy some prepare stuff. Like we're seeing like some restaurants joining the program, like
Oh,
Popeyes within Subway. But like I said, that's like in a specific kind of deal, be case by case kind of thing. But there is options out there for people that might be struggling.
that's great. I mean, I didn't realize like how, how that works or anything. So that's great to know. And it's great to hear that it sounds like it's expanding more. Going back to the community service, it's like the free food kind of thing. Can anybody grab food from those free food sources? Are there any eligibility requirements for those? How does that work?
No, anybody is accessible to this ones. Anybody can show up to the places. We usually, if it's our program, it's like about like an hour and a half at most. Our truck goes to a place and then hands out the food directly. Those are like our usual ones: community purse programs, mobile pantries, senior food programs. Senior food programs, I believe it's 55 and up. We have really great places. I've seen like a chicken and really good produce, just food that is more tailored towards our senior population, try to make it as nutritious as possible. And yeah, it's twice a month. So seniors are set up with like a good grocery bag, and they're just so happy. We see like them form lines for like an hour. So like they're so excited. And we always get like stories from people who's like, thank you so much. I'm going to be able to not worry about what I have to pay my electricity bill versus like having to buy groceries thanks to this. So it's always really, really touching because as someone that struggled with that, it's like, man, I'm happy I'm here. I'm
Yeah.
happy that you know about this, and please like try to spread it because anybody like should have access to free food. Like
Yeah.
food is just a human right, and nobody should be going hungry anytime.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's so powerful. And I mean, it touches your heart when you're like, people shouldn't have to worry about food. Like, that should be the last thing that people are worrying about. But I'm grateful that there's programs like yours that help address that need that I think has become even more amplified, especially as cost of living and everything is going up all over the place, especially in California. And I wanted to also ask you, could you tell us a little bit about your resource event that's coming up in May?
Yes, so we're having a resource fair for CalFresh Awareness Month coming up in May. So we're going to be at City Park in Vallejo. We're going to have a bunch of different resources. We love SolanoConnex. We're also going to have the county join us. We're going to have a couple other organizations that are partnering with us, like Catholic Charities. We're going to have the library join us as well, the adult education. So it's just a great opportunity for folks to just come out and ask questions because there's so many things out there that can help you. Like a library card. Like I want to get a library card. I haven't got one yet, but like it's just so useful. You get so many discounts. And then just learning about all the different things that are like accessible is just crazy.
Something you mentioned kind of before we started recording, I wanted to make sure we touched up on this, is you mentioned that volunteers kind of like you get a lot of volunteers around the holidays and then, people kind of forget about it or teeter off or for whatever reason. I don't know if you want to highlight volunteer opportunities or how someone could help.
Yeah. So specifically in Solano, we serve about 130,000 people, I believe, something around that. And one in four, like about 25% of those people that we serve are kids. So we serve a great deal of community. And Solano, cities like Dixon, Vacaville, Fairfield, Susan City, Vallejo, we are currently like we have a lot of opportunities for volunteers in all these different cities. So, like I said, we would not be able to do everything that we do without our volunteers. We always ask for the community if they'd be so kind to donate something as valuable as their time to just come out, help us for an hour, hour and a half. Just we have opportunities for like bagging the produce in our warehouses, distributing the food directly, so you get to know the people that we serve. A lot of the people that we serve sometimes volunteer their time as well, so we appreciate that a lot. But yes, we would not be able to do everything that we do. We tend to see like a really high spike towards the holidays where like everybody like it's home for holidays. It's just that time where there's some extra free time or like this just sense of like giving back. And we tend to see that after the holidays, he kind of starts dying out. Everyone's going back to work, but like hunger doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Like our neighbors are still going hungry after the holidays. So that's something that we always try to remind our neighbors that we need this year round. Where this is a hunger fighting. It's a all year round kind of fight.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I just wanted to ask you, is there anything else that you wanted to add that we didn't give you a chance to touch on yet?
No, I think we covered a lot of it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This has been great.
No, thank you for joining us. Oh, sorry, Elena.
No, I'm so sorry. We have a question, one last
Yeah.
question that we ask everybody. So we like to talk about self-care. We like to highlight self-care. I know you've done a lot of mental health trainings and programs and it's like with our fellowship with us, but do you have a favorite technique that you use for self-care?
That's a great question. I mean, I have a lot of them, but I think my favorite one, oh, I can't pick. Um,
We're just putting you on the spot.
no, that was great. Let's see. So my ideal like self-care type of day, I used to think that it was like a day where like nothing to do, so just like wake up without an alarm, just let my body wake up. That'll be the first thing. But recently I've been finding myself into some like mindfulness, like guided mindfulness, that helps me kind of I was gonna say disconnect from the world, but not really, because it connects me a little bit more with it. So just getting my headphones on and just like get in a comfortable position and just let be guided in mindfulness, just being present, and just I know there's a lot going on. I know like maybe there's gonna be like more self-care things like get a pedicure or like treat myself or like a bath or all these things. But and this time it's just like a self-care for my mind and my body specifically, but mostly my mind, to kind of just slow down my thoughts and just give it a break. Because even sometimes when you're getting a pedicure, you're thinking, I'm like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like, so I'm like, in that moment, it's like give my brain like a little break. I think that's
Yeah.
my favorite one.
Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, that's powerful. Sometimes I think just giving, I mean, I'm the same way. I can't, my brain never shuts off. So I've also been trying to do some mindfulness, like even 5 minutes, you just realize it makes such a difference to just, I can't do I have to do the guided ones because my brain just goes crazy, but it is very helpful. And I really appreciate you highlighting that because sometimes we just need our brain to be silenced for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you so much for joining us today, JP, and teaching us a little bit more about all the services that you provide. To learn more about this resource, check out the link in our post. And we also want to remind you that if you're looking for other mental or emotional health resources and services, you can visit SolanoConnex, which is spelled CONNEX.org. Thank you.
Thank you.